Good morning, afternoon, evening, gamers. So I was on YouTube. Yeah, I know. I need to really get off of YouTube sometimes. Uh, I'm probably not going to though. But anyway, I was on YouTube and I saw a clip of something that looked interesting. It's an upcoming game, I believe. So I thought we'd have a look at it. This is kind of spontaneous and just I was like, I'd like to make a video about this for no other reason than it looks interesting to me. I was also watching an Asmongold video. I do enjoy watching Asmongold. I don't agree with everything he says. Neither do I disagree. So some of his videos are very, very interesting. And if nothing else, it should always be good to have a conversation, to have a discussion. It doesn't need to be, not everything needs to be for you, but it's good to have conversations, right? And he was saying about how some games are just really not for him. Which I agree with. And then there's other games that are very much for him. The one I was watching was the Winter War, I think it was called, something like that. Very bleak, sort of dystopian kind of game. Looked very, very interesting. The producers talking about no microtransactions, no nonsense like that, no nickel and diming. You pay your money, you get you get everything like video games used to be. But yeah, think kind of Fallout 4, sort of dystopian mixed with kind of horror elements and mechs, and I think it's sort of like a distraction, a what's the word, I can't think of the word, um kind of like a Escape from Tarkov. Extraction. It's an extraction shooter, and you're kind of a scavenger, um, going through the ruins of, I think it was Los Angeles. Anyway, it looks really, really interesting. Go and have a go and have a look, and if you like Asmund, go and even if you don't, just go and like have a look at it if you're into new and upcoming video games. Because whilst everybody says that everything's ruined about video games and all the upcoming video games are terrible, yeah, some of them are, but there's video games coming out every day, and you're always going to find something that's going to be interesting for you. And whilst that game maybe not, maybe I'm always willing to try, like different games. But this one looks maybe something that I might be into. So let's just watch it. I shall make it. I'll have it go back. Can I make it go back? I think that was it. So a grand story, cyberpunk, vampires, RPG. I mean, that sounds interesting. Is there no sound? Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, obviously, this isn't gameplay. This is, probably pre-rendered. So, always take everything that you see. I've learnt from Cyberpunk to take everything you see with a very large grain of salt. But so far, it looks really, really interesting. The customization looked really interesting. I'll let it play and then I'll maybe talk a bit more about it. Not a big fan of turn-based. I mean, I'd still give it a try, but I don't know. Just something about turn-based. It should be something I would like because it gives you more time to think about things. But at the same time, I feel like it also can interrupt the flow of a game. I don't know, but hey, like even if it's not for me, for a lot of people like yourselves who like turn based, it's gonna be for you, and that's good. I'm seeing I'm seeing somewhat of a disconnect with the rendered images and then the turn based kind of I don't know. I'm not quite certain as to how it all ties together. Very large pinch of salt on this. Interesting ideas, but in ideas are fine on their own, but it's how they're kind of stitched together. Um, eh. that that bit there kind of reminds me of Blade when you had, was it Thorn, I think, and he had his modern sort of coffin. Um, uh, yeah, it's kind of what it reminds me of. Blade, particularly the first Blade movie. Wesley Snipes was a fantastic Blade. Apparently, they're making some remakes, or they're doing some new. I don't know if they're remakes or new movies. Hopefully, new movies. But Wesley Snipes is not going to be in them. Um, I don't know how they. Don't know how I feel about that. Having said that, I can't remember the name of the guy, but the guy who's potentially going to be the next Blade, I've seen him in movies, and he's quite an interesting actor. So yeah, maybe. I I play quite a few um adult visual novels. Um, I feel like there was one. Um, no, no, no. Hmm. There was one that I'm pretty. Yeah, this lady. I'm sure I've seen this character model in a visual novel before. Um, yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would say this game is very ambitious. It's throwing a lot of just ideas into the mix. So I don't know how that will pan out. Um, what kind of omelette, what kind of finished omelette you're going to get at the end. Um, I mean, the werewolf kind of threw me off. It was like, okay, cybernetic werewolf? Question mark. I don't know. That one, that character model there as well. That was the other one I was trying to look for. Definitely seen this character model in a visual novel or two. It tends to be one of the more popular ones. But, you know, very attractive characters. That's always a win. Modern gaming seems to be just making people look not great. And I don't know why it's so difficult for people to for the media for people to understand that people generally most people like attractive characters. They don't want to play ugly characters. They don't want to see ugly characters in a movie. When we read a book and we think about a character, we will think about a character that is attractive, at least in our mind. Yes, beauty is subjective, but you can definitely generalize and look at people and say, well, yeah, that person's generally attractive. This person's generally not attractive, and yeah, that may be sad that we can't look at all people, you know, objectively. And I think you can. So somebody can be unattractive but still be well written and have like a good character arc and still be interesting in a game. Like beauty isn't the whole package. You can have a really good looking character, but just badly written and just not particularly interesting and just, you know, hollow, still going to be a bad character. But beauty, you know, beauty and attractiveness of characters, it just is a thing, whether you like it or not. But definitely, I've definitely seen this character model before in sort of visual novels. Some of which are interesting. Not all, of course. So yeah, Vampire Syndicate Gangs of Moonfall. Um, could be interesting. May not be for you, but something that could be interesting, depending, or may turn out to be too ambitious for its own good, perhaps. But yeah, I don't. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to make a little video. Thought it looked interesting. The character design. Where was the character design? Yeah, the character design looks, quite in depth and looks, kind of interesting. I've got a video coming up on a game that I've been playing quite a bit recently. It's called Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. I've got a video. I'll post it at some point. And one of the things that I was saying to the developers was that the could do with a much better looking, first of all, characters, and a more in-depth, character customization. But that game is in, it's in early access. So again, there's lots of things that can be, done before it gets released. I think it's going to be released in like 2025. Really interesting game though. Reminds me of it scratches that Skyrim itch without being Skyrim for like the millionth time. I'm always looking for the next kind of Skyrim type game, and Tainted Grail, I'm really enjoying it. I'm only about 20 hours in. So, not a lot. I'm a very slow player and it takes me ages because, I have to go exploring every single, corner and area of, like, the map. But I'm really enjoying it. But I was saying that, like, better customization would be good. This looks, I mean, obviously is paused at, not the pause isn't particularly flattering, but it looks like it could be interesting. So yeah, but it does look ambitious. It does look like there's a mishmash of ideas. Again, how turn-based kind of interacts with some of the other ideas. I don't know. I'm wondering if it is going to be more of a visual novel-esque type game, because there are now sort of games that are part visual novel, but also they've got like the RPG elements, and they're starting to throw like different ideas together, which I really like. I like exploration of trying out different things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Not everything's gonna stick, but you just throw things and see what happens. So I wonder if it is more of a visual novel-esque type thing. But there's lots of interesting ideas, just how how do they all kind of blend together? Factions that looked kind of odd. I mean, yeah, just I'm concerned that maybe some of it's a bit overly ambitious, perhaps. But if they can pull it together and make something interesting, see, the werewolf seemed really just odd. It's so out of place. But then, if you can create an interesting backstory and somehow try and make it fit, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, lots of ideas. I just wonder how it will be, how it will all kind of play in. Cohesion is something that concerns me somewhat. But yeah, so that's it. Vampire Syndicate, Gangs of Moonfall. It's not out yet. You can wish list it. I did because it interests me. I'm interested to see how they put it together. So yeah, that's the video. That's it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.